There goes our vehicle. And the trip begins. Oh! Oh! Just kidding. So here we are at the trailhead, and this is where we're going to begin our backpacking trek on the International Appalachian Trail. A beautiful drive here. We drove here from Per Se this morning. Gorgeous views of Per Se Rock. Gorgeous ocean vistas the whole way. Very mountainous setting. Absolutely amazing drive. We explored some of the town of Per Se, climbed up a hill, got great view of Per Se Rock, great views out to the ocean, and this gorgeous maritime architecture. Very, very cool. Just quintessential Quebec maritime environment here. Very unique and just incredibly beautiful. And we are about to begin our hike. We have 24 kilometers on the last day. Today we're gonna have to do over 10, and in the middle we have a bit of a shorter day. But it's not an easy hike, but it's not overall extremely strenuous. There are mountains. We're gonna get ocean vistas. We might see whales, we might see black bear, there's moose in there. But the beginning of the trip's gonna start in the bush, and then we're gonna be on this kind of open mountain ridges where we're gonna see incredible ocean vistas. Big thanks to the International Appalachian Trail Association, because they are the ones that are doing a shuttle for us. We met them here, and they're gonna drive our vehicle to where we are gonna end this backpacking trek. I got these new trekking poles. These are MSR Ascent carbon fiber trekking poles. New, super stoked to use them. The older ones I had just kind of eventually broke, and every time I put weight on them, they kind of sunk down. So these have a different locking system and are going to be much better. And I like to hike with poles because it really takes some of the pressure off your joints, off your knees and hips, going uphill, going over logs, over top of streams and stuff like that. It's kind of like you got four-wheel drive. So yeah, locked in, ready to give her. Woo! So pretty much as we were about to take the first steps of our trip, we realized that we forgot the stove. We were trying to switch everything over from one trip to another. We were running late. Our shuttle drivers, we left waiting for a long time. And so I was basically chatting them up, distracting them, getting to stop thinking how we're wasting their entire day while Tori was loading the stuff. And one of the things on our gear list was this jet boil, but we have the extra big isobutane can. So when you use the extra big isobutane can on a jet boil, there's no room for the stove top to fit inside the jet boil pot, which this is. And so we didn't put it in here, and it was loose in our food barrel. And as we were rummaging through it and packed everything from our canoe trip to our backpacking trip, we realized that we'd forgot the stove top in you know, the last moments before we started walking away. So yeah, that's pretty enraging. I just want to kick something. Son of a bitch! So mad. But anyways, it just means that we're gonna have to light a fire in the morning, and to boil water we only have another tiny little pot. So I'm gonna stash this jet boil in this tag alder. And hopefully we can come back and get it on our way home. Might be a little out of the way, so if anybody is hiking in Forillion National Park on the Appalachian Trail, check at the trailhead, because there might be a jet boil pot, some gas, and a little pot supporter. Feel free to keep it, because we're just gonna leave it here. So we're caching it instead of throwing it in the garbage. So we're caching that. No big deal. Packs are lighter. Son of a bitch! I hate forgetting stuff. All right, here we go. Next to the wind.
I can't keep my water bottle here. This is ridiculous.
There's the beginning of the trail. Looks pretty easy.
goes up.
False summit. The trail just goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up.
Oh yeah. Up and up and up.
Sweating yet?
So,
Me too. Whew!
there.
That was exhausting.
Yes, it was.
Looks like it flattens out a bit now though, eh?
Looks like it, yeah.
Thank God. Goes down. Wow, this is beautiful fall weather, eh?
Perfect.
Yeah. We got some moose sign here in the tree. So that's in the winter. Moose will eat the inner bark and they'll peel the outer bark and peel off the inner bark and eat it. There's an older one there. For whatever reason they like this tree. Yeah, you can actually see the teeth marks there.
Oh, that's
It's interesting to see the bark there, the Appalachia, or I think as they pronounce it in the States, Appalachia. I think we use the French pronunciation here in Canada. But these are the Appalachian Mountains. This is the Appalachian Trail. And Appalachia is actually a Mohawk Iroquois word for porcupine. But the reason the mountains are named that is because the Mohawk called the Algonquian tribes that lived in the Appalachians porcupines. So they called them Appalachians because they would eat bark, inner tree bark in times of famine, just like a porcupine. So it was like a derogatory term to call them porcupines. In a way, it was calling them bad farmers because the Iroquois had perfected growing legumes and corn, but the Algonquin in the mountains were still hunter-gatherers and would have to go through periods of famine that the Iroquois didn't deal with. So they called them porcupines because when they were starving, they'd eat the inner bark from trees. Inner bark from trees has been used all over the world. The Sami people use it as food, but it's so high in fiber, which of course makes you poo, but if you have too much fiber, it does the opposite and makes you constipated. We are approaching a lookout. Cool. All that uphill is worth it. Whoa. Wow. Imagine this with all the fall colors. Oh my God, look at how high we walked up, Tori. Huh? Holy crap, there's town.
Whoa! We were on that road.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
No wonder I'm exhausted.
at another little rest point here. We've managed to climb up even higher since the last one. And it's funny, like the towns, they're all just kind of along the highway. And this one almost follows a valley. So it'll probably be our last view of any development. But it's a pretty cool view. Sign here says stay away from cliff edges. I don't know why, I'm walking right. Ah! Just kidding. There's Tori safely behind the border.
Safety first.
We're going down. That means we're gonna have to go back up, Tori says.
My knees are already hurting.
I think that makes sense. Just use it like you're pulling.
Oh, I am. Downhill really hurts my knees.
Yeah, it does.
It's jarring. I'm trying to step, like, you know, with intention here.
It just slides your top body forward on your meniscus, right?
I don't want to, like, you know, jar it too much, but...
Yeah. What a...
Yeah, there's a lake coming up. Hey?
What's wrong with this mountain runoff stream? It's okay, isn't it?
Well, there's a whole lake, is what I'm saying.
We can just tab this, no?
Yeah, sure, if you want to, but I'll...
Well, you can see here that we're not the only ones that stop at this little stream to get a drink. These are all moose prints coming through here. Some more moose sign. And we found a little bit of wild mint. Again, grows in these kind of swampy areas. So it looks like there. I always smell it before I see it. So tasty.
Snacky too?
Looks like we spooked the moose. We didn't hear it run, but it probably heard us talking or caught wind of us when we were out of earshot from it running. But maybe we'll bump into it. But there's a lot of moose sign around here, so seems like there's a moose that just hangs out on this trail a lot.
Crazy.
I just heard it. Did you hear that?
No.
I just heard it. No. Yeah, so it looks like there's a moose that hangs out on this trail. And me and Tori spooked it, and I think I just heard it in the bush over here. So we are just booting along here. First whole stretch of the trail is in the forest. We're gonna hopefully, I think, get into some more open country. But yeah, we don't know exactly what to expect. We gotta make it 11K today. So we're probably gonna be rolling in there right before dark because we didn't start quite as early as we thought. And again, one thing we didn't really plan for is how much earlier it gets dark here than back home, because it's just that much further north, and because we're into the fall, the days start getting shorter and shorter as opposed to the spring when they get longer and longer. So it's like pitch black by 7:30. When me and Tori were in the Rockies and we walked from Jasper to Grand Cache, we were doing 20K a day, but it wasn't getting dark till like 10:30, and it was light super early, so we never even had to use headlamps or anything. So that's really gonna narrow the window that we have. So we're hoping that if we leave at like the absolute crack of dawn on our last day, that we can bang off that really, really long day and get to Québec Gaspé, the tip of the Gaspé Peninsula and the end of the Appalachian Trail before dark. But we're gonna be hard pressed. I'm looking forward to getting it done, and I'm looking forward to the journey, but I'm not really looking forward to getting up before first light and just going all out exhausted all day. So some more moose sign here. At first glance I thought it was a fir, but this is actually the velvet that attaches to a moose's antler. When the moose antler grows, it originally has this nice fine velvet on it, and eventually that just comes off and it leaves their antlers that nice, you know, bony texture that you see after they're fully grown. Wow. Yeah, and it's just like a leather. Actually, apparently this stuff here is really high in protein. You can eat it, and some of like the Evenki and the northern reindeer herders will boil this and eat it because it's really healthy.
We might need to keep that. We might not have enough food on our...
Yeah. Isn't that cool though? Feel it.
It's so cool.
Have you ever felt antler velvet before? Like
I don't know
fresh
if I
off
have.
the moose?
Wowzers. That's so... Yeah.
So do you want to touch this side? It's not
I
even
did,
slimy or anything.
It's cold.
Yeah.
It feels a little slimy.
Yeah, it feels really cool and warm. So yeah, you could see the shape here of the antler. This is like one side that kind of came off.
That's real cool. Really, really cool.
Antler would be kind of like that, I guess.
I've just never, ever seen that.
These are the tines.
Yeah.
That tine up there.
Wow.
Maybe we'll hang it here so someone else can see it. But this is so obviously moose antler velvet though. Like, look at the shape of it, you know?
Crazy.
That's that moose that we spooked. It's got to be the same one that just hangs out on the trail.
Yeah, so there's always that moose. Like, it's just crazy how much moose sign we've seen this whole trail. Like right at the beginning, remember the tree?
Yeah.
That you, the bark?
Yeah.
And then, you know, we saw some moose prints into the water.
Eating, yeah, where he's drinking.
And then moose prints where it was clearly very close to us.
Where we spooked it, and then I heard the moose.
Velvet from the trail.
And then velvet, yeah. Yeah, we're just right. A lot of sign of the moose here, and then I heard it. I heard it go,
yeah,
make a noise, and then two like steps like that. Just right after its tracks veered off in that exact direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we saw other tracks after that, probably of the same moose, but they're older. They weren't those ripping fresh ones.
Yeah. Yeah, those ones were very fresh.
Yeah. So it probably just, when it heard us from far, it got spooked, ran a bit, veered off to hide, waited, and then when it saw them we were being quiet, and then when it kind of heard us or caught wind and realized we were coming that direction, it kind of bustled off again, deeper into the woods. So almost saw a moose, almost saw one.
Almost.
But we got a cool experience with a moose that honestly a lot of people might not even have seen, you know?
Yeah.
But because I know what moose sign looks like, their tracks look like, when they're running, when they're fresh, when they're not fresh. We know what the sign looks like when they've been eating bark. We know what their velvet looks like. It really kind of puts you more in the moose's realm and just gives you this cool primal feeling of being like connected to the animals when you're in nature. So just for that reason alone, it's interesting to learn more about the animals and about tracks and about their habits and their habitat too. The old bridge, maybe that's where that other trail went. Got a little bit dilapidated.
Just a little. I'm sure we can still walk.
I don't know why I like filming bridge walking across scenes.
It's cool.
Ah! Ruined it, eh?
Nope.
I broke out the camera to try to film a grouse, but it was a stick.
Not a grouse.
Anyways, what are we doing right now, Tori?
We're hiking. We just passed a sign that said 37 kilometers. We're going to...
That's to the end of this trail?
Yeah, so where we started is technically the end, because it starts at 0 from Cap Gaspé. So we started at kilometer 45 and we're counting down. We're camping at kilometer 33, and we just passed a sign that says 37. So we have about 4 kilometers to go.
For today?
Yeah.
Sweet. Oh, there's a sign up here.
Oh, there's a sign up here. So we're just coming up to this sign here.
You're bang on, honey. You said
3.8.
3.8.
Yeah, well, we just passed a 37 kilometer sign, and I know we're camping at 33, so perfect.
Here's seaplane.
Cool. Not much further.
Otters. We saw otters and we saw like footprints and otter slides and all that. Right?
My legs aren't as long as yours. Oh no!
Here, you can film me.
That was a little muddy.
This is a guaranteed soaker should I fall off this log. Oh, the log's sinking. Where's the log? That's all the log there is?
That's all the log there is.
Oh, no big deal.
No more log.
Look. Here's some prints here. What's that?
Qu'est-ce que c'est? A dog.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's a
Small
dog.
Yeah.
The average household pet.
I think that's like.
Yeah, hey? Nice.
One kilometer still.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's far. I know. I'm actually not even tired at all. How bad is it? You don't sound like it's okay. Sure, you'll be able to just work through it. gather for like.
We are nearing our campsite, and it looks like there's a lawn there, like we're walking into like a park. It's all manicured. This is the I guess more used section of the trail, and they do a lot to spruce up the campsites. This is a national park actually for Parks Canada. Here we go. Equestrians always have the priority. Hikers yield to equestrians. Bicyclists yield to hikers and equestrians. Jim Baird Adventurer yields to nobody. Except Tori, that's for sure. Okay, so here me and Tori are at our campsite on the International Appalachian Trail. Not really what we were expecting. It's quite manicured. There's a lawn here.
There's a porch.
There's a porch.
Or a deck, I guess.
It's probably 2 picnic tables. It's the most manicured backcountry campsite I've ever been to. But there is a nice little stream down there and a kind of more wild area, but I don't know. Walking 11K, we thought we were going to get to this like epic lake site on like an outcrop or something, and it's just like a lawn hacked into the middle of the bush. But you know, for most there is an outhouse, so for maybe a lot of campers might like something a little bit like this. It's not too on brand for Jim Baird Adventurer though. So, but you know what? We brought a 6-pack and a Mickey, so we're gonna make 2 Mickeys, but one's for tomorrow. So we're gonna just get drunk and have a fire and eat and just make the best of it. So it gives. Tori's knees acting up a little bit too.
Well, now that I've taken Advil, it feels fine. So.
What's going on with it? What was hurting?
It's like under the kneecap, and it's just like a really deep, throbbing pain that kind of comes and goes. Right now, it feels fine. But it's something that I have off and on here and there. It's just because I think I had surgery on this knee, so I think overcompensating with this leg, I don't know. It's just something I've had for and it's just off and on. So it'll be fine. She's taking some vitamin I. She'll be back into it. Anyways, yeah. So not an ideal campsite, but that's okay because I know for a fact this trail is going to get absolutely spectacular closer to the end. So yeah, it might be a couple nights of, we don't know what tomorrow's going to be like, but it might not be the most spectacular portion of the trail here. But you know what? We decided that we wanted to do this entire last section of Appalachian Trail. We wanted to cross Forillion National Park. And you know what? That's what we're going to do. So we're going to take a little bit of the good and a little bit of the bad, and all of it turns out to be an awesome adventure in the end. And you know, this campsite specifically might be perfect for a lot of people. What do you have? Show me the inReach. So
there's obviously no cell service here.
There's no cell service here. So we have the inReach. But the cool thing is, so the inReach is great, obviously, because it's a satellite texting device. You can send text messages. Usually we just use it for, you know, it's got your SOS button on there. Obviously we don't want to hit that, but anyways, you can send text messages. We like to use it to let people know we're okay. When Jim's out on his trips, he'll text me and let me know he's doing great, and you can also see the location. You can Bluetooth to your phone and almost use it as a regular cell phone. So I'm just going to send a message to my dad, who is currently babysitting Wesley. And send. You obviously want to use it for emergency purposes. You want to save the battery. The battery lasts a very long time, though. It's great.
Okay, so we are drinking a East Coast Canadian beer that I've never had before. It's called Laurentide. I believe it is brewed in Moncton, New Brunswick. Sorry, St. John's.
St. John's, yeah, you're right.
Canada, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, Moncton, St. John's. It's by Molson. Molson makes it. So we don't have this in Ontario. Laurentide basically tastes like Molson Canadian, but a little bit better. Cheers, honey. Love you.
Love you.
We have an MSR gravity filter here.
Which is actually very convenient because since the water is so far away, and this is a big one too. I think it's like for a group people. Yeah, like that's a lot of water. So since the water is so far away, we can just fill it and have like 10 liters. What is this?
Yeah, you fill it and you hang
10
it.
liters of water.
And it uses gravity to run your water through a filter, purifies it, gets all the giardia and the germs and yucky stuff out of there that could get you sick.
It's into here. And then I'm assuming this is the actual filter. Well, I guess it stops there. Fill it up. I'm gonna take this off so it doesn't get totally soaked.
Alright, I'm just going to fill up this bag.
Is there something in there blocking the water from coming out?
And where?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Anyways.
Inside it?
Yeah, I just don't know how to make the water come out. I guess we'll figure that out.
Plug that in and it automatically starts coming.
Great. Sweet.
I fell and hurt my leg.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Amazingly.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just was like a Charlie horse, you know?
This is convenient. There's a flat spot. So, and then this goes to a tree, I guess.
Me too.
I'm holding this. Okay.
Yep, nailed it.
boy.
You want to wear a glove in the other hand too? What is this called, Tori?
Chicken orzo soup.
Chicken orzo soup tonight. Woo! Happy yak soup poulet at orzo. Chicken orzo soup. It's good. That's a hearty soup right there. Look at that.
Yeah, that looks great.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's looking good. Can you smell it?
Mmm.
Coconut curry.
Are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry.
Mmm.
If anyone wants a recipe, I'll tell you.
What is it?
Well, usually I make it with shrimp, but I didn't want to dehydrate shrimp. So I just saute some onions and peppers. Pour in some, like a can of coconut milk. And then add usually the shrimp. And then I cook rice separately in coconut milk. But I usually add like a little bit of salt and pepper, and then a ton of curry powder. But I add it, mix it, taste it. I keep tasting it to see. It depends how much curry you like. And then I, cooked it, and then, spread it out on parchment paper and dehydrated it. But this time I didn't add shrimp. I just did it without any meat, but then I dehydrated canned chicken separately. So good. You want some?
Yeah. Well, you eat what you want.
Well, I want it all, but I'm willing to share.
Aw.
that huge coffee press.
Cowboy coffee and an Nalgene, baby. All of it, boy?
Don't say that.
Why? Oh, I checked.
I know. Ooh. Small plate. What we could do is just pour it all in here.
But wait, we're gonna need more water though.
Yeah. So we'll just pour the oatmeal in, add water, and heat it all up together. And we can eat it out of one pot, yeah?
I don't think you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to pour boiling water into the oatmeal, not heat boiling water with the oatmeal.
Oh, I did this on my toboggan trip every morning.
What, you put it all in cold?
Yeah.
With cold water?
Yeah.
Okay. And you survived?
I survived. It was, it was difficult, but I'm just kidding, it tastes just the same.
Why, just you didn't have enough water?
No, I just had the one pot, and so I just poured the oatmeal in first, and poured the water in after, just to make sure I didn't boil too much water, because I only had the pot to eat out of. Here, I'll add water.
Tori's doing the oatmeal in a crazy way.
Well, I cook oatmeal at home by pouring water into oatmeal and putting it in the microwave. So it's a difference, really. Right?
Mm-hmm. I've never done it before. Like my mom.
I'm gonna put it over here. That's okay.
There's no heat over there.
Yeah, there is. There's enough heat. I just don't want it to be directly over the flames, because then it might burn. No, I just said it. I just felt like.
Yeah, that fire's going pretty good now.
That's delicious. It's a little burnt piece on the bottom.
You like the burnt piece?
Mm-hmm.
Tori's taking the coffee for a spin. And that's our cowboy coffee. And that's how you get all the grinds to settle to the bottom.
We like to chew our coffee.
Yep. White one has nothing in it.
That's mine. Sorry, I'm just burning. Well, I think it's pretty done. Look. It's delicious. Really good, actually, cooked over the fire. I don't know why. It has like a different flavor to it. Like a smoky flavor, I don't know. Try it.
How hot is it?
Not very hot. It's a little warm.
Tastes smoky.
Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious. It's maple brown sugar, so it's like smoked maple. All right.
It's awesome.
Okay, let's sit down so we can enjoy it. Hooey, that's strong. That's a strong cup of coffee.
Well, we kind of blew the cowboy coffee thing. There's a lot of grinds. Tori doesn't like her coffee chewy. I don't mind it though, so her loss is my gain. I also survived on limpets and snails for 75 days, so a couple coffee grinds. Whoop-dee-doo. Well, I guess the next thing is we just pack up all our final loose things and hit the trail.
The gravity filter comes with this little nozzle here.
Let me see the nozzle.
And it attaches to a Nalgene because Nalgenes are the best. Let's see if this works. And then you put this on here and you let her rip. Pretty cool.
It's working!
This part is you have to stand over there and hold it the whole time.
That's enough. Probably gonna pull the sweater off and put on and just keep my long sleeve t-shirt, but it's too cold. I don't want to yet.
She's full. You want to fill up yours?
Yeah.
Alrighty. This one doesn't want to screw on properly, but I'm sure it'll do the job.
I don't understand how the valve works though.
I don't either, but anyways, that was great. Ooh, we gotta get walking here. It's starting to get chilly, bum.
You dump it on the fire?
Yeah.
Red Cloud was a famous native chief.
Oh, yeah?
Lived really long. He went blind in his older years. He was alive around the time of Wounded Knee.
These straps are a little broken. There we go.
It is supposed to be cold this whole trip, but you know what? At least it's okay for backpacking. It's not jumping, sweat, and overheating. Pro go.
So, we're walking from camp and we see this thing. A perfect bear hang
With the rope.
with a rope and everything.
Thing.
And if we had known this was here last night, we probably wouldn't have tied our food to a tree directly beside our tent.
Yeah, we didn't do the best bear hang job. We didn't realize this whole thing was here. Like, wow, it doesn't get better than that.
All right, moving along. Look at this.
So right down from where we camped at the site we complained about, there's like a full shelter like a cabin that we could have slept in.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. We didn't know this was here. We thought there was only one site, and both were connected, and we saw a little sign for a shelter. We thought it was just a lean-to, and we got to the site and we're like, oh, it's not here. But this is like, you know, way more beautiful, right on the lake. But anyways, I guess we were just tired and we just didn't think that, like, we thought these two sites were connected. But Tori, it's like, remember in the Rockies, the backpacking sites and the horse packing sites were separate too?
Yeah.
You know, I think that's kind of what's going on here. Oh my God, it's so nice. This is where we could have eaten breakfast.
It's warm over here too.
This is where we would have been eating breakfast if we weren't a bunch of bungling idiots. We're both wearing French headgear. I got one that says Rats de Marie, which is a surf fishing outfitter, and you got one that says
Salmon.
Québec.
And
Québec.
Québec Salmon.
Québec Salmon et la pêche de Bonaventure River.
Does it say all that?
No, it doesn't.
Like,
But these
what?
are just some more French things I've learned. Whoa.
Oh wow.
Wow. This is sick.
This is definitely.
This is like a wilderness.
This is a different view.
This is worth it in the backcountry. Yeah, we're. I feel like maybe the town is in that bay. Yeah.
Oh, I see a
I see a cabin, yeah. So today is starting off pretty good. No huge uphills, no huge downhills. So easy on the exhaustion levels in the joints.
Yeah.
Yeah, no uphills and downhills yet, Tori's saying. We're coming up to 3K, but we haven't been on the trail long and our packs already feel a bit lighter after drinking those beers and eating some food and polishing off a Mickey.
Listen, we're child-free this week.
We're child-free, okay? We're allowed. So yeah, beautiful stretch of forest here, and checked out another awesome viewpoint, which was, you know, definitely of a much more wild stretch of mountains and forest. Looking out to the ocean, the sun was still on its way up. Gorgeous. We got out of camp. What time? 7:45?
Yeah.
Got out of camp at 7:45 this morning, which is good. So, you know, and we ended up making better time than we thought yesterday. And you know, today, depending on how much uphills we have in comparison with yesterday, even though it's 4K longer, we need to do 15 clicks today. Yesterday we did 11. Even though it's 4K longer, the trail being flatter might actually make things around the same level of difficulty. So 2 days of warm up before our last day, when we're literally gonna have to, you know, pack up, take a Cliff Bar as a suppository, and just start giving her from first light to make sure that we make it, because we don't want to be rushing. We want to get to the lighthouse on Cape Gaspé when there's actually some light, you know. So pretty cool. And also on that day too, we don't have to rush too much, because there's a decent chance that we see whales out in the ocean too, which would literally just like sum the experience up as amazing. Nice day so far on the trail. Not a cloud in the sky, a couple little clouds now, but really sunny, crisp, cool weather, good for traveling, so things are good. Tori's knees are really hurting on the downhills.
Just the one knee.
Just the one knee. Pretty early on in the day, honey, are you concerned?
Well, I'll take some Advil and see what happens.
Okay.
I feel like it's just the downhills.
Yeah.
I heard it, so we'll see.
Well, we just came off a long
Whoa.
downhill.
Yeah, really long one.
Hey, look, puffballs.
That's cute.
These are all edible. And once they go into their puff stage, they start sporing. But you can't eat them when they're sporing. But when they're in this stage, they're like white and chewy inside. They're a delicious edible mushroom. We probably can't pick any because we're in a national park, or can we?
Probably not.
All right, honey, maybe you should Advil up, eh?
Yeah.
Doing that, I think I may take my pack off for a moment.
Alrighty. Don't jump on the camera.
You're good. Let me get your water. Well, mine has a chemical in it a little bit still. Take it down, honey.
Oh, we've only been out here for like an hour and a half, and we've at least done 3 kilometers. Maybe 3.5 of them, 4.
So we're doing all right then.
So we just finished Les Lacs Trail, and we are now moving on to Les Crêtes Trail. So you'll notice Les Lacs was labeled as a 10 on the difficult scale. Les Crêtes is a 9, so that's kind of reassuring.
And Le Portage Nord is actually a traditional portage route that was actually used to portage over top of the entire Gaspé Peninsula. So that's a true like old school trail, but it made sense for the natives and, you know, whatever other people back in the day, instead of having to paddle all the way around the peninsula many more miles and turbulent seas, they'd actually just portage over it. But like, that's a long portage through mountains and everything. But now it's mostly used as a backpacking trail because everyone's like, F that, and people aren't paddling on the ocean or kayaking or whatever like they once were using it to travel.
Maybe it's the road now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe it's a
because it's saying the parking lot is that way, right?
Yeah, our parking lot is Portage Nord, maybe where it starts. But this is another access point. So I mean, me and Tori could have started from this access point, which is like a good enough road to actually get a vehicle into. So we could have started here and basically taken a day off of our trek. But we still think it was awesome. We're still happy we did it.
You know what? It's a beautiful day today.
Very beautiful day, yeah.
I'm considering taking off my sweater.
Okay, cool. Do you want to do that right now?
Maybe. All right, so Les Crêtes Trail begins.
Les Crêtes Trail. We are on to the next portion of our journey.
Yay! Look out in 1 kilometer.
Look out for what?
Look out!
Got some sweat going. the gradualness of this uphill faded into steepness. A ways to go still. Still going up? Oh Lord. They redirected the trail to not be so steep, eh? Yeah. Still going up. Still going up.
Water break with a nice view. Beautiful. Look at that.
Oh my God, look at that. Incroyable. Très magnifique.
So, we are at another lookout point after climbing up pretty high.
Full memory card.
And
full.
you can see Gaspé. I believe that is a bridge we drove over.
Signs again.
26.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, very substantial. It's old too because it's all built with the old womanized stuff. Another beautiful little lookout.
SOS point 26, so we're at kilometer 26. We have to get to kilometer, I think, 18.
And so that's if you run into trouble and you have
They know where to
sat
find
phone
you.
or something, yeah. Or if they're radioing in. There's no cell reception here.
As far as we know. Trail has definitely changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm. No longer on the wide trail. Definitely more of a rugged trail that we're on now. So, got to walk in single file. And more ups and downs and more roots and boulders. But we like it like that.
It's 11:30. But for me means it's almost time to stop and eat some food.
Okay.
I'm starving. So maybe if there's another little lookout,
We'll chill.
we can sit and eat some cow mix and beef jerky.
Okay.
I mean, we've gone more than halfway our distance today.
Sweet. We're crushing it, eh?
Yeah, just starting off too, like with a warm up.
Yeah. Yeah, today I feel like my muscles are way more used to it, you know?
Beautiful. May I sit?
Yeah. Lunchtime, lunchtime, beef jerky for lunchtime, jerky. Up close and personal.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Well, we're just stopped here to scarf some lunch, some trail mix and beef jerky. And we're making good time today. It's like noon and we've done almost half of what we need to do. So even though we have a lot further to make it today, More than half. We've done more than half. And so even though we have a lot further to make it today than we did yesterday was just much more challenging with the uphills, but now we're kind of in the high country. We did have one big steep hill, but it's kind of flattened off a little, so we're able to kind of motor on a little better. The trail is more rugged, less used, but it's not slowing us down too much, and a lot of beautiful lookout points too, of just forests and mountains and sea. So pretty special, some pretty special lookouts, and the trail's just getting more and more beautiful with every step.
So the last marker we passed was 25. So we are somewhere along this ridge here. There's a campsite coming up at marker 24. Then we're going to cut through this valley here, go a little bit further south. Then we'll be on the south ridge of this peak here. And then after about another 4.5 kilometers, we're at our campsite.
So does that mean we have further to go than we thought tomorrow?
So tomorrow we'll be starting here at kilometer 20. The plan is to hike all the way to the end, of course. But because we're not camping again tomorrow night, tomorrow's our last day, we can just hike, meet our car
At the access point,
which is only about 3 kilometers from our campsite, drop off our gear, take only what we need, hike all the way, which is the rest of the 17 kilometers to the end, and then part of the way back to where our vehicle was.
And then he's going to drive it to here.
Yes.
Ah, yes. What a nice little spot for lunch, honey. Loving it. No wind. Beautiful day. Tip for picking up the bag. If you just pick it up by one strap, you can break the strap, and it could be worse for your back, but you put a lot of pressure on one strap. So a great way to do it. You cross your hands like this, and you slip a fist under one of the straps and let it sit on your wrist. And then what you do is you hoist it, and you bring your top hand around your head, and you let the strap slide down your forearm. If you grab it with your hand, the strap will get caught up in your thumb. That's why the wrist is kind of the trick to that. And you're ready to go.
Let me take your technique and try to do it.
Okay. Top hand, fist, your right hand. Yeah, and then bottom hand. Oh, yeah.
This comes up and over. You ready?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Ow. Ow. That was graceful.
It takes some practice.
I think I blew out my shoulder.
Do you have a concussion? Really?
No.
Have you blown out your shoulder now too? Now you've blown out knee, ankle, and shoulder?
I'm a mess.
It worked.
I got it on, it just...
You don't need to like run sideways for a few
Well, I
seconds.
had to catch it.
Get your balance. Okay, so long, beautiful view.
Yeah, that was great. That was a really long stop.
Very long stop. But I feel full now.
Yeah, I digested for sure. That was great.
We snuck up pretty close to a grouse earlier today, which was pretty cool. Now we're like 1K from our campsite. We're just crossing this beautiful stream, a little wooden bridge. In the stream you can see the ocean in the distance, so it goes way down. We're quite a ways above the ocean, but obviously this stream flows to the ocean.
Beautiful.
All right, well, perfect place to take water here. Beautiful mountain runoff stream. Try not to disturb the bottom, eh?
Yeah, I was trying, but blew it. Okay, well, here, let me fill up your water bottle. Clean, filtered water.
That's some high quality H2O. What movie's that from?
I don't know. Let me guess. You were doing an impression of... I don't know.
Adam Sandler, Waterboy.
Oh, I knew it.
Thanks for filling up our water.
Oh, no problem.
I like that filtration system that you have, honey.
It's very convenient.
Yeah. So we are kind of crushing it today. Definitely a challenging trail. Not the most remote trail. I mean, there are areas of Gaspé that are a little more wild. There's actually woodland caribou here, and it's incredibly beautiful. It's not the most wild area me and Tori have visited or backpacked in, but of course you do have the ocean and some incredible scenery and some really beautiful areas and awesome adventures to do, and it's accessible, so you don't have to pay expensive commercial flights and baggage fees and float plane charters. You can access most of it in a reasonable amount of time, which is something pretty neat, and still have an awesome experience.
Well, it looks like the campsite is straight ahead and the trail continues this way, so we will continue straight.
We're almost there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We just walked 15K.
Yeah. I don't know. This is the campsite we're supposed to be on. Yeah.
Home for the night. We don't have to set up our tent, eh?
It's pretty nice.
Oh, I like it. So we're just gonna leave the door open. There's no bugs, right? You don't mind, eh?
What do you mean leave the door open?
Like we're just gonna leave this one.
Oh, I was like, is there a door to close?
There's no door.
I can't
Alright,
believe.
let's get to drinking. Let's make the most of this, honey.
Okay.
It is morning, day 3 of our backpacking trek on the Appalachian Trail, and it is about probably 10 to 6 right now. Got up at 5:40, set the alarm for 5:30, one snooze button hit. I mean, you know, what do you expect here? And yeah, so we start off with a trek just a little over 3K to an access point, and we've pre-arranged to drop off our gear to a guy there who's then going to drive our gear to our vehicle, which is parked at another access point almost at the end of the trek. So that way we can make better time because we have 24K to go. It's 20 right to Cape Gaspé at the very tip of the Gaspé Peninsula, which is supposed to be freaking absolutely epic. There's a chance we see whales, there's cliffs, it's incredibly beautiful. And then we have to kind of double back and take a bit of a side trail and do an additional 4K to get to our vehicle. Anyway, so yeah, the plan is basically just to eat this morning, get an early start, you know, pack up and get out of here. So that's what we're in the process of doing, and we should start putting one foot in front of the other pretty soon. All of it?
I guess so. We'll just have to boil more for oatmeal.
I often don't have a fire in the morning. Sometimes I do, but when I travel with a stove, I use the stove to boil.
That's good. Excellent starting job.
Thank you, honey. This is the bear hanging apparatus, but we noticed this worked for our gravity filter. But they also have a bear safe storage area, which is where we put our food. I'm going to spin all the grinds to the bottom of the coffee container. Look at that, honey.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Huh?
I'm impressed.
I know there's a couple, so I poured them off into mine.
Oatmeal.
Instead of a hunting knife?
Missed. Thank you very much.
Could use a little more water, huh?
Yeah.
It always expands so much. Fine though. If the coals are too hot to pick up, fire's not out.
We bring these and for our cameras and food and stuff.
I just think they're going to be uncomfortable.
Oh my God, it's so light today. Without that mess kit, how's yours feeling?
Pretty heavy.
Oh, really?
Oh, keep going up. When you look this way, you can see per se rock. Look, what time did we leave?
I don't really know.
Like we left camp at 7:45. I think it was 7:45. going way back down after going way back up. So it's only 3K to the road, but clearly it's going to be harder. Tori can't walk too fast on the downhills, and who the hell can walk fast on the uphill? So this 3K is going to take longer than we thought, and we might be a little late for our gear pickup shuttle driver. Hopefully he waits up for us. I think I hear a car. I hear the road. So I think we've made it on time to meet the guy. Man, this is going to be a heck of a lot easier without this pack on, eh, Tori? At first I was thinking like, oh, it's kind of a cop-out not to carry my pack right to the end.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, what's the point? It's way faster. We're going to get...
Why are we trying to be heroes?
Yeah, why are we trying to be heroes? We are crossing a road, and I mean, it's an added expense though to get somebody to come here and drive your stuff to the end. So he's picking, our truck is already at the end, and he's gonna just pick up our gear, drive it to the end, open our truck, and put it all in our truck. So that way we can walk unencumbered the final 21K to Cap Gaspé. Hey, that rhymes. Cap Gaspé. 21K to Cap Gaspé. That's what me and Tori do today. Hey. Hello. Almost at Land's End.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Jim Baird, and that's my wife Tori. Yeah, good to meet you too.
You're all in one piece, safe and sound.
We are, yeah. All right, and here's where we're dumping our stuff.
I'm your Sherpa.
Cheating, yeah, and it's our Sherpa.
This stays amongst us though. Eh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know this stuff.
We'll just fake that we carried it the whole way. Eh? We'll just put newspaper in our packs and
There's more or less. So what's that?
yeah. Beautiful view here from this access point where the highway travels through the national park, and this is going to be our last stretch to get to what they call Land's End. And the reason they call it Land's End is because it literally looks like the edge of the earth. So this is going to be really spectacular from what I've heard. I'm really excited, and a lot of people will decide to just basically start their trip here and just do that part and skip the part me and Tori did, but we had to be heroes and cross the entire park. So but this is likely, from what I hear, going to be the most amazing part. And because we've arranged for this shuttle to shuttle our gear to our vehicle at the end, hopefully we'll be able to do it a little quicker and a little more unencumbered. But we still have 21K to go today on top of the 3.2 we already did, so we still got our work cut out for us. And there goes our gear. We just have our little packs, which are already starting to feel heavier than they should. And yeah, we're gonna bang off this last 21K.
So we're taking the Mont Saint Albin Trail.
Mont Saint Albin.
4.3 kilometers. No problem.
Well, that is some bear poo there. Looks like it's been eating rose hips and maybe some, I don't know, some other kinds of berries, or I don't know. It's not too many berries left, but it looks pretty fresh. It didn't taste so fresh, but that's because it's poo, so it's hard to tell from the flavor. Definitely not hot, so I don't think we're going to be coming up on a bear. But black bears are fairly common in here. So fortunately Tori has practiced up on her jiu-jitsu moves, so if we have an encounter she can just snap its neck with her legs like Riggs in Lethal Weapon. So that's why she's walking out front. Right, hon?
I don't know if I can snap a bear's neck with my legs, but I can crush watermelon.
It's pretty, the forest in here, eh?
It is very nice.
That is a large cedar tree.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. They never grow particularly tall, but it's very wide. More bear poop. Small bear. It's clearly walking the same way as us because it's made another deposit. Looks like it's definitely eating rose hips. Yep.
Okay, so we have come to a fork in the road, or the trail, I should say.
Ow! 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 I'm okay.
We literally just saw a man carrying a baby, so we should really suck it up here. And we are going to be going left to the Mont Saint Alban Loop. We're going left to the Mont Saint Alban Loop and to the observation tower, which is a 1.6 kilometer hike.
You have to jump into the woods. How far do you say you're above sea level?
I forget.
300 and something.
Height of the Eiffel Tower.
Wow.
Oh my. I didn't even look that way. Look at this tree.
Yeah, I wonder if someone did that to mark the trail originally, because there's a couple like that.
That's cool.
Just took the sapling and bent it, eh?
It feels like fall.
Yeah, we are headed for an observation tower that is built on top of cliffs near the sea. And we've gone up and up and up and up. Up some staircases, up some steep hills. It's leveled off a bit and I can see it, so I think we're getting a little closer. Here is the tower.
Merci.
Well, we have made it to the observation tower, and my goodness gracious, what an amazing view this is. Probably one of the best views in the world, I would say safely this is. Man, it's windy up here too. The wind's kind of howling, it's a little chilly, but we are 285 meters above sea level, which is the height of the Eiffel Tower is what they compared it to, and I suppose that kind of stays in line with the whole French theme here. Anyways, yeah, so amazing, very cool view, très belle. And that point, the end of that point, they call Land's End, and that is where we're walking to next. So we still got a heck of a trek ahead of us, but yeah, we're walking to Land's End now, and that's going to be kind of the big climax of this entire trek across Forillion National Park. So man, this is really cool.
We're almost there. It's been quite the journey. Now for the descent.
It's like the bartender's just sitting there paying absolutely no attention to them. Chat an hour, and no one has come over.
And by the way, or something, and then they leave, and as they're leaving, it's like, we know, because we fish in it. Well, juggling 6 guns.
Amazing.
Pretty much. Yeah, so we're in a part of the park that's incredibly beautiful. Definitely seeing some more activity today because there were a couple access points that you know, could get onto the backcountry trails a lot more easily, so some more day trippers. Anyway, so now the trails are still good, but now we're kind of headed into a bit more of a rugged section right to the, you know, Cap Gaspé, which is the tip of the Gaspé Peninsula. We're feeling pretty good. We've done 11.5 clicks today. Legs, which is as much as we traveled on the first day all in, but we're not quite as sore because there hasn't been as much uphill. We don't have our heavy packs, and legs are feeling a little sore. Tori's knees holding up, and we're just enjoying every opportunity we can to just look out over the ocean. I haven't really spent time looking for whales yet, but that would be cool. And just basically enjoying this scenery is freaking spectacular. If you come to Gaspé, I feel like you gotta come and see this. You gotta come and see Land's End, Cap Gaspé. It's just freaking so amazing. It's kind of like almost like the figurehead. That and Per Se Rock are like the quintessential sort of landforms of the Gaspé Peninsula. But there's also other things, obviously the Bonaventure, the Matitome, the Restigouche, other areas where you can go hiking. There's woodland caribou back in the mountains here as well. But anyways, yeah, we're just gonna keep basically putting one foot in front of the other, and hopefully eventually we'll be right at the absolute tip of the Gaspé Peninsula. So here is what that bear is eating. These are rose hips, and the skin is edible. They're filled with seeds. The seeds are actually edible. The seeds are actually edible too, but they're very hard. They can actually break your teeth, so you have to crush them up. But the rose flower grows out of here, and it's already grown and died. So those are wild roses, and that's why that bear's poop was that color.
Oh, look at all the seeds in there.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. The seeds can actually break your tooth, so if you're gonna eat them, you gotta really grind them for more of like a survival food, but pretty good. Yeah, so we're just making our way to Cap Gaspé, right along the shoreline, but we just passed through the old homestead of Xavier Blanchette. It's a heritage building now because it was associated with the cod fishery in the Gulf of the St. Lawrence, which was the main activity and driving force behind the Gaspé economy for several centuries. A lot of the cod fishermen did some farming on the side as well. Cod drying racks, an old shack, and a gorgeous home, and a very cool ramp down to the water. What a view they had. Pretty cool. Just passed through a graveyard with a little bit of history. Some of them are relatively new. 1978 was the most recent one, but many, you know, back to the 1880s for sure. A lot of younger people didn't live as long on average back then, but also some people that lived into their 80s too. Trail goes right through it, but it just kind of paints a picture. It's sad, but it also paints a picture and makes you imagine, wow, what was life like then? Anyways, we just pulled up to the parking lot at Indian Cove, and we see our vehicle. There it is. Canoes have not been taxed. Cool. We plan to continue this way right to the tip. See a lot of adventurous type people in vans, small campers, people doing road trips, little side adventures. Much like we are, actually. Seems to be kind of a place where Appalachian Trail hikers, through hikers, day hikers, mountain bikers, trikers, psychers, and bikers, ikers maybe even, all like to come through here and enjoy the outdoors. Yeah. Okay, back on the Appalachian Trail. Met up with our car. Now we're doing the last 4K in and 4K back. So we're on the last 8K and are going to reach the very end point of the Appalachian Trail, or maybe the very beginning point of the Appalachian Trail, whichever way you look at it. And looks like we might get some rain, but maybe no time soon. Actually, the sun burst through those clouds and it's warmed up a bit, and it's freaking absolutely beautiful. So the last stretch of the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah. Oh, got a fish. Hammered it. Oh yeah.
We go for a cruise by the water. Check it out. Rolling back up.
Getting it. Got him again. Oh yeah.
Hey.
1 kilometer left. Wasp nest. So obviously someone stepped right in that and got completely swarmed, and they put a whole bunch of caution tape. It must have been bad, but I mean, this is kind of cool because you can actually see sort of what it looks like, because half of it's eroded away, probably from when the person stepped on it, eh?
What were they doing walking all the way up there?
I don't know.
The trail's way down here.
No, they blew it hard. I feel like we're almost there, Tori.
I feel like we must be. It's getting windier.
We're getting there. I feel like it's less than 50 meters away.
Oh,
Windy.
you can tell it's getting narrower, the point, eh?
Yeah. The weather is getting dramatic. Remember that one aerial photo that they had on the old postcard? Cap Gaspé. We have almost done it, Tori. On Maison de Merde.
Oh, it smells like it too.
Woo!
Wonderful first
Phew!
time.
Phew!
Cap Gaspé.
La Maison de Merde. Cool, look.
The lighthouse.
The lighthouse. Wow. Look at that cliff over there. Man, is it ever windy. Oh yeah? Anybody home? I told him I'd be here at 4:30. These lighthouse keepers.
It says 375 meters to Land's End.
Alright, let's do it.
Probably pretty epic view down there.
Well, I think we can see the
Waves.
cliffs that we're standing on top of.
Totally, yeah. All right, let's do this.
I mean, I don't actually want to, but
Me neither.
we have
I'm
to.
so broken. Yeah, we have to.
Okay, so we've come to what's called Gaspé Station, and now we're taking another steep set of switchbacks down to a little observation platform that is in actuality the Land's End, because it sticks out further east than anywhere else on the Gaspé Peninsula. And I think we're going to get a pretty cool view down there of the cliffs we were standing on. Me and Tori are feeling fairly sore, fairly broken. We've walked over 20K today. And we still have 4K to go, but we're thinking, what the heck, you know, we're going to freaking do it. So we've made it this far, you know, but it's going to be a tough climb on the way back up particularly. Well, you gotta do it. Then you can say you've really been to Land's End. Super cool lighthouse that was. And the foghorn that's there actually still works. It's solar powered and it uses a sensor. And when it gets really foggy, the sensor triggers a super loud speaker system and sends out foghorns just to warn ships. Can imagine this would be a pretty treacherous thing to careen into. And what a beautiful spot to be stationed in a lighthouse too, like amazing. But yeah, there's been a lot of work that's gone into preserving some of these old lighthouses because they're so cool and they have such a awesome nautical history. It's owned by Oceans and Fisheries Canada. I don't think by Parks Canada specifically, but I think they're the ones that keep it up. And you know, at one time they played a really key role in the safety of ships. Because you know, back then there was no GPS in these things, and so they needed these visual markers to kind of see their way. And you can imagine you're disoriented, you're coming through the fog, and that lighthouse can just completely give you your bearings and prevent you from slamming into Gaspé Peninsula. So pretty awesome. I'm sure there's more of an interesting story behind it too. It is windy here. Whoa, look at those waves.
We completed our 3-day trek across Forillion National Park, walked 45 kilometers, awesome journey, and witnessed some of the best scenery in the world. I'd like to say we're finished, but we still have 4 more K to trek back to our truck, so we're just gonna take in this awesome view. Couldn't be a better endpoint to the International Appalachian Trail.
It's really windy. Look, yeah, I got them. Yeah, there's 3, they're all together.
Okay, we're heading back to our car.
There's the parking lot, Tori.
We're at the parking lot.
I'm feeling a fair amount of pain.
Me too. It's like my legs have just seized up. They knew.
Yeah.
My legs knew, like, once we were at the lighthouse, we were done, but
Yeah, but they weren't
realize
done.
we had to walk
I got some pain in my
back to the car.
front of my ankles, bottom of my feet.
Yeah.
Overall
Yeah,
tired, but feel
I'm feeling
pretty
it.
good. About ready to be done though. What about you?
I'm ready to sit in
Yeah.
that car.
Ready to sit in the car.
Ready to drink a beer.
Ready to drink some alcoholic, refreshing alcoholic beverages, adult
Hopefully
beverages.
have a lobster tail tonight.
Yeah. Gonna go out for a good meal. Lobster.
Maybe we can get some champagne.
So shit, maybe.
Is that really pushing it, or?
Did you just come into a bunch of money you haven't told me about, honey?
No, we were just gonna eat and run.
And there's the truck. We did it. On leaving Forillion National Park, we are saddened to learn of the forced relocation of the indigenous people who lived at Indian Cove on the park's incorporation in 1970. This serves as one of many examples that create a challenge to reconciliation between indigenous people and the Government of Canada. After driving a ways, we stayed at Lands O'Griffin Adventure Hostel, where we rented a canvas tent with a lot of space. What do you think of our accommodations for the night, honey?
Pretty cool.
The next morning, I went down to the beach early and flew my drone over the breaking waves and took in the sights, sounds, and smells of the ocean before the long drive home.